Once upon a time, on a sprawling, lively farm, there lived a horse. But he wasn't just any horse, he was a champion. Tall, powerful, his every movement a picture of grace and speed. The farmer called him his pride, his treasure, the very heartbeat of the farm. Everyone admired this magnificent animal. Children would scramble to the fence just to catch a glimpse of him galloping across the fields, his golden mane dancing in the wind like spun sunlight. He was, in every way, perfect, or so it seemeth. But in a quiet, overlooked corner of that same bustling farm lived someone nobody really noticed. A small, plain pig. He wasn't strong. He wasn't fast. He had no medals, no ribbons, and certainly no fans. All he had was a simple, honest heart. And yet, between this proud champion and this humble pig, something beautiful began to grow, a true friendship. Every evening, after the sun had set and the farm grew quiet, they would talk for hours. The horse would share his grand dreams of winning even more races, of the roar of the crowd, of the glory. And the pig would listen. Not because he was impressed by the fame, but because he genuinely cared. He saw past the champion to the horse inside, one who was brave, kind, and honest. With each passing day, their bond grew deeper, a silent understanding between two very different souls. But one crisp morning, everything changed. During a training run, the horse pushed himself harder than ever before. He was a blur of motion, a force of Nitrento. He wasn't. His hoof slipped on the damp earth. There was a sickening thud, followed by an unnerving silence. He tried to get up, his powerful legs trembling, refusing to obey. A sharp, searing pain shot through his body. The farmer came running, his face a mask of panic, shouting for help. He called the vet. The hours dragged on, and a heavy quiet fell over the farm. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. That night, under the dim, flickering light of a single lantern, the vet delivered the devastating news. If he doesn't stand before sunrise, he sighed softly, his voice full of pity, we'll have to put him down. It's the only humane way to end his suffering. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. In his corner, the little pig had heard everything. He froze, his small body rigid with shock. Tears welled in his eyes. He couldn't lose his friend. He couldn't. He scrambled to the horse's side, his voice a desperate plea. Please, get up. Please, I'm here with you. Don't you dare give up now. The horse's eyes, clouded with pain and despair, slowly opened. I can't, he whispered, his voice barely audible. It hurts too much. The pig pressed his little head against the horse's neck, a silent promise of support. Then I'll stay with you all night, he said firmly. You are not alone. And so they did. Through the long, dark hours, as the stars wheeled across the sky and faded one by one, the little pig stayed. And then, just as the first faint ray of sunlight touched the stable floor, the horse's ear twitched. A moment later, his legs moved. Slowly, shakily, with an immense struggle, he pushed himself up. He stood. He was weak, but he was alive. The pig squealed with pure, unadulterated joy. The farmer came running, his eyes wide with disbelief. Our champion is alive, he shouted, his voice cracking with emotion. The whole farm erupted in cheers. But in that moment of celebration, everyone knew, deep down, that it wasn't a miracle. It was the pig's unwavering love that had saved him. Days turned into weeks, and the horse slowly healed. Soon, he was back in training, his spirit Then the day came for his next race. He ran with a fire they had never seen before, faster than ever in peacetime. He won. The farmer held up the shiny gold trophy, his face beaming with pride. The whole town celebrated their returning hero. Back at the farm, the pig ran to greet his friend, his heart bursting with happiness for him. But before he could utter a single word, he heard the farmer's booming voice. We won. Let's celebrate tonight. Cook the pig for the feast. The world stopped turning. The pig's heart froze solid in his chest. He looked at the horse, his eyes screaming for help, for some sign that this was a terrible joke. But the horse looked away. His voice, when it came, was cold and distant. "I have more important things to think about now." The pig's heart shattered into a million pieces, the same heart that had stayed up all night, that had willed his friend to live now broken by the one he saved. But in that moment of ultimate betrayal, he remembered his own words. "Be strong, don't give up." He took a shaky breath, pulled against his ropes with a strength born of desperation, and broke free. The farm gate was open. He ran into the forest, panting, terrified, but free. The farmer saw him escape and roared in anger. Without a second thought, he jumped onto the champion's back. "Let's get him," he yelled. The horse charged into the forest, a whirlwind of muscle and fury. Trees blurred past, his hooves pounding the earth, closing the distance. The pig ran for his life, his little heart hammering against his ribs. And then, suddenly, a huge fallen tree blocked the path. The horse tried to leap over it, but his timing was off. He fell. A loud, sickening crack echoed through the trees. His leg had broken again. The farmer was thrown from the saddle, hitting the ground hard. Groaning in pain and white-hot frustration, he reached for the gun at his hip. He aimed it at the horse. Tears streamed down the farmer's face. He couldn't bear to see his champion suffer like this again. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his finger tightening on the trigger. But before the shot rang out, a small, pink blur charged out from the bushes. It was the pig. He slammed into the farmer's leg with every ounce of his being. The gun fired, but the bullet struck the farmer's own foot. He screamed in agony, dropping the weapon and hobbling away, shouting in pain. Silence descended once more, broken only by the horse's heavy, ragged breaths. He lay on the ground, tears of shame rolling down his face. "I don't deserve your friendship," he sighed weakly. "You saved me. Again." The pig came closer and gently touched his nose to the horse's. "Because real friendship doesn't break," it sighed softly. "It forgives. It believes. It believes. I saved you, not for who you were, but for who you can still be." The horse closed his eyes, his whole body shaken with sobs. "Please forgive me," he whispered. "I already have," the pig replied. "Now, it's time for you to forgive yourself." The morning sun filtered through the trees, casting long shadows on the forest floor. The pig looked towards the path ahead, his road to freedom. He smiled gently. "Take care, my friend. Life gives us second chances. Use your zoil." The horse watched as the little pig disappeared into the forest, the sunlight wrapping around him like a golden halo. For the very first time, the proud champion understood what true strength really meant. It wasn't about speed or power. It was about the courage to love, to forgive, and to be kind, even when the world has been anything but. Strength isn't found in muscles. It's found in a heart that can love and forgive. Real courage isn't about getting revenge. It's about choosing kindness, even when you've been deeply hurt. And forgiveness. That is what truly sets us all free. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking and subscribing for more. We'll see you next time.